Hunting together when we were 14 years old. He gave me a call. He's like, hey, I was driving around on my bike, found a hunting spot in Woodbury. You got to go get yourself a bow.
Me biking around during the fall, early fall, looking for a place for us to hunt, and we were lucky enough to get a spot, and from that point on, we've been after it ever since, except on a little bit bigger scale, not that we have cars. I'll never forget that first night. Joe and I went out, and first evening in the stand, I was lucky enough to shoot a deer, and I've been hooked ever since.
So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go pick up a bow. And so that's kind of where we started, is hunting in Woodbury. When you're hunting mature deer, I mean, it's a totally different ball game than just say, you know, if you wanted to go out and just shoot a deer. You know, you can go out and just shoot a deer, but when you're trying to get out there and you're trying to kill those 4.5, 5.5-year-old deer, it's just a totally different game.
That's one of the things we really like about bow hunting, that we find satisfying and gratifying, is simply getting on a mature whitetail. There's just nothing like it, because you're hunting a completely different animal, and
you're hunting a very smart animal.
Yes. Come fall, it's go time. We've done our homework, and we're ready for it to pay off. That's not to say we're not still scouting.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Scouting's a year-round deal.
But really, it's when we apply what we've learned during the summer through our trail cam picks, through site observation, I mean, really everything. We look at it as a scientific approach almost. I mean, you've got the time of the season that makes a difference, the weather conditions, the access to the stand, the morning versus PM hunts, everything, hunting pressure, food sources, and during the course of the year, you really get a different mix of everything. That makes a difference.
It takes different tactics at different times of the year is really what it comes down to. And you know, scouting is a year-round deal, and you know, you can't just neglect scouting during the season. Those patterns change. So you know, we definitely do our homework during the season, not just in the off season. You know, we're constantly tweaking stands or you know, what have you.
Yeah, come fall, we're still at it. We're not forgetting what we learned during the summer, and we're continuing to pursue those whitetails and figure out how those deer. For as long as Joe and I can remember, we've wanted to do something in the outdoors and capture that moment, really, that, I mean, words really don't do it justice.
It's one thing to tell somebody the story, and completely different to say, like, look, you know, look at here comes the buck, and you know, you got the footage, and you can walk them through it. So you know, it goes so much further than just telling a story.
Yeah, I mean, capturing that aura, that essence that goes into every hunt. I mean, each hunt is different. You learn something new.
You said it perfect right there. Capturing the essence of the hunt is a goal that we've been striving to accomplish ever since, you know, we decided that we're going to start filming a couple of years ago.
Yes. Joe and I primarily bow hunt. One of the great benefits of doing that is you really get to see the deer transition from early season all the way to late season. Early season, you're sweating your tail off. It's that in itself is a challenge, and then you're just trying to stay warm late season. So that's one of the things that we really enjoy, and the learning curve is just unparalleled compared to a gun, muzzleloader.
I mean, you really get to see the deer's behavior from those first weeks that it's open. You know, they're in their early season patterns. Kind of catch a buck, you know, off guard. And you know, then they move into that kind of what's referred to as the October lull, where maybe you know, maybe you're not seeing as much deer activity, you know, and then goes into the rut. And one of the biggest things for me is I love just sitting in the woods, whether it my favorite time is sitting, you know, in the dark right before that sun comes up. Sometimes you can hear some deer sneaking past you, you know, a little bit of mystery. I really like bow hunting.
Going back to our overall goals for the season of 2013, really our #1 priority is to show Midwest Whitetail that we're not a flash in the pan, and that we can lay down quality footage and educational footage as well. So that's our #1 priority, and we're going to be doing that by providing that quality footage that really kind of carries it the extra mile.
Yeah, we're going to have, you know, several camera angles. We're running, you know, 2 Canons and a GoPro, so we're going to have those different angles to kind of, you know, keep it fresh.
Number one focus is showing you guys that we can lay down the footage. We're pretty good behind the camera. I mean, we're working on it because it's kind of a little new to us still. But at the same time, you know, we're there, we're excited.
Good behind the camera and comfortable in front of the camera.
Exactly. And also providing that educational aspect, because that is really, I mean, that's one of the things we stress the most. The last goal of the season is to harvest mature deer, obviously. Realistically, are we all going to tag out this season? Probably not.
When you're out there trying to get those mature bucks, it's just not realistic to think that all 3 of you are going to tag out on the caliber of deer that we're hunting. They're not around every tree. It's just a fact.
But we are confident that we're going to lay down some good footage. We're going to have some great encounters, and it's going to be a roller coaster of a season. You know,
there will be big bucks seen.
Yeah,
for sure. There's no question really about that. It's just laying down that quality footage and getting the job done. I mean, buck, you know, we can't miss at this point. You know, buck fever really can take a hold on you. And when we're trying to do this production aspect, you know, you got to be able to close the deal. There's going to be a little extra pressure.
Yeah, definitely. We still have some deer on our hit list from last year that we're excited to see. They made it through gun, which in Wisconsin is really the biggest thing, making it past that. So there are a couple of up-and-comers we're excited to see next year.
I'm particularly excited about a buck we call the Big 8. He was very visible last year. We saw him quite a bit. You know, big enough to shoot last year, but I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, young deer, but he's
got a lot of potential. Good character. You know, he's got a rack all his own.
It's fun to watch him. All right, so we want to thank all of you, Bill in particular, and everybody else at Midwest Whitetail. We look forward to staying in contact with you, and we hope you get a better idea of Joe and myself. And Ben wasn't able to make it here to film with us today, but we're really excited about next season and possibly being a part of Midwest Whitetail. So thanks for all the great hunts. We really love your show.
Yep.
And we love all the aspects of it. So
very entertaining. Thank you.
Yep.